Hello, hello! Welcome back to another Life by You update video. Today we are going to cover whatever they put out for us this week, and as you can tell, I'm at a different location right now. I'm at my parents' house sitting while they're on vacation. A little different. Audio probably sounds weird too. I apologize, but next week I'll be back at home. Everything will be back to normal, and I'm going to try to start getting these out again on every Friday. So I apologize if the last couple weeks have been a little bit off, but we're here now. We're good. So let's see what they have to talk about today. So it looks like today they're going to be talking about answering the questions that we may have had from last week's video about crafting. I think it was really cool to see the crafting systems and what they're going to be adding in the base game, but it's definitely brought up a lot of questions from the community and to be expected, and what could they be adding to this game? Sounds like they are listening to the community a lot, and I love to see that. Join Community Manager Rocio as she answers some of your questions on crafting, including what about knitting? Can you buy materials? Watch to find out. Probably basic questions, but more clarifying answers to this type of stuff. And it seems like it's a pretty short little video. It's like 6 minutes, so we'll watch it straight through and then I'll tell you my thoughts. And then they also did post this, which has more questions about crafting. So after we watch the video, I will go into these as well so that we can kind of just see a little bit of everything and make sure we're caught up to date. But I don't want to go over this again if it's answered in the video too. We'll go to this if we need to at the end. Beautiful.
Hi everyone, it's Community Manager Rocio here to talk you through some of the questions you had around crafting. We answered some of your questions in
really
a community
nice.
post yesterday, so be sure to check
I feel
those
like
out as
graphically,
well.
it's looking
We received
better
a ton of
already.
really awesome suggestions, but one in particular that stood out because a lot of you are really wanting to channel your inner raccoons was rummaging through the trash for materials. While we don't have that as an option for actual crafting materials quite yet, we love the suggestion.
William has added some items to the trash.
We do have this option available for those of you who would like to rummage through the trash. So here you see Ollie is looking through his own trash, admittedly. When he's looking through the trash, he found a book. He can go ahead and read the book. It's fully functional. And that is a way that you can go around town and find items. So as we're looking at ways to add to this gameplay, we're absolutely noting your feedback on crafting. And do be careful when you go dumpster diving because it is gross. You can see that his hygiene is dropping rather fast. And like he said, ew, stinky. And as much as I'm sure this bread is delicious, I did not want him to eat this trash bread. So I sold it online. Let's get that out of here. And he already wants to go take a shower. So I did interrupt him on his way to the shower to answer another question you all had, which is where is knitting? Knitting is still in the game, don't worry.
Okay.
It is a little bit under construction right now, so ignore the blocks. Unlike the crafting that we went over last week through the crafting table, this one actually comes from the knitting needles that you have in your inventory.
Okay, so you have to have the knitting
Another major difference is how you acquire the materials for this type of crafting. As of right now, you don't have to go digging in the mountains or on the beach to find yarn. You can order yarn online, or you can go out to the store. I believe Rod's shown at the cafe where you can
Old Town Cafe that has knitting
buy
materials.
yarn while you go get your coffee. As a knitter myself, I also like to stay indoors to knit, so I'm all for this. You also might see here that his knitting skill is increasing.
I love that.
Like the other crafts, there is still a skill associated with it where you unlock better things to knit as you get better. You can also wear or sell your items.
Good.
As some of you have realized, this is very similar to cooking, which we will do a deep dive on, so hold tight there. But I did want to take a second to show you this menu because
I look forward to the
it's very similar to the crafting menu where you have your recipes, each of which have a different level. So as you get better at cooking, you unlock new recipes. Here, Ollie is improving slowly but surely, but he is unfortunately very bad at cooking, and he can only make a couple of recipes. He's making a salad. Wanted to take a moment
Anyone can make a salad.
Appreciate some of the animations that are starting to come together.
Yeah,
We're going to continue to work on them into early access and, of course, during early access. And once we're in early access, we can talk to you all about which animations you'd like to see going forward and see what kind of things you mod into the game as well. Another common question we received was, where can you store your stuff? Because obviously by the end of that video, Willem had dozens of different crafting materials in his inventory.
Yeah.
And yes, there are places to store your things. Here I'm showing you with a wooden dresser where you can see it holds up to 6 things. You can even see here that this particular shirt I've gone ahead and customized, and it shows the color palette in case you have multiples of the same thing.
Oh, awesome.
There's also different filters for whatever you store, including categories as well as subcategories if you have a lot of different things in there. I'm going to go ahead and return that shirt to Ollie, but in this case, for this example, I used a dresser, which contains clothing. There are other types of items which store different categories of items.
Okay.
Now let me put that shirt back on. Thank you, Ollie. Sorry about that. And let's move on to the next question.
It reminds me of like a survival crafting game
right now to answer
where you can have like storage chests for certain things.
The first one that I wanted to answer is actually related to the types of things that you can grow. When we grew those flowers, we did receive the question of, can you grow your own food? And yes, you can grow your own food. Here you can see that I'm buying different types of seeds to eventually grow in my garden. And this feature is under construction right now, so I'm sure we're going to have Willem back eventually for a video on what it all looks like when it's completed. That's not going to stop me from buying every single seed that's available, just because I can. I gave Ollie so much money. Let's use it.
Rice and potatoes.
And you might have already noticed from previous videos, but there are two ways to buy. You can go ahead and click just buy or add to your shopping cart in case you're not sure what you want and you want to adjust the totals later. There is one more question that I wanted to answer for this video, and that is, can you just buy the materials that you need to craft with instead of going out and finding these troves? While you can't find every crafting component online or in shop, you can buy certain materials.
Yeah.
There are two different shops that I'm going to show you in this video that you can buy materials from.
Okay.
Here is Crafting Warehouse. You might recognize some of these from Willem's video. You can go ahead and buy the seashell here in case you need it, as well as any yarn or any knitting needles that you might need for your knitting. And like I said, Ollie is very wealthy right now, so let's buy that cashmere, let's buy that alpaca yarn. I think he can make the nicest little sweaters for himself as long as he has all of the materials he needs.
Cow parsley.
And you might notice that certain categories of crafting may be harder to find items in shop for, such as archaeology. You're going to want to go out into the world and dig for that.
That makes sense.
And for these items, I'm just clicking one click
buy.
That doesn't mean they just show up in my inventory like magic. You do still have to wait for the shipping truck to deliver them.
Okay.
And I wanted to show you one more shop, which I can definitely say the name of. She Sells Seashells, where they exclusively sell seashells. So you might see how you can create your own specialty shop around whatever niche item you'd like to add to the game.
Aww.
And that's it for this week's video. Thank you all so much for watching and for all of your suggestions on last week's video. Hope you have a great weekend and see you next time.
I've just realized, is there no chair here? Is he not sitting on a chair? Or is there a stool? Is there supposed to be something there? I don't know. That looks really funny. But it does look better. I feel like they've really enhanced the visuals. It's clearer. I still think it could be a little bit better, but I think that they're on the right path. And I think that they are listening to the community, and I think that they have a lot of really great ideas for a base game that is pretty full. And then of course they're gonna do expansions and stuff later on probably, but like you're not gonna feel like you're lacking if you just get the base game of Life by You. I feel like they've added pretty much everything a life simulation needs and more, like all the stuff that you might expect and more. So really love to see that. I like that you can pick different stores. I wonder if modding you can make your own like stores and sell stuff. I think the animation making of the food is really nice. His hands look a little funny in that shot, but overall the animation here it was very, very good. And like she said, they're working on improving it, so that's not final, but it does seem like it looks better than the food in The Sims, so I'm gonna give them that credit. Sims food looks horrible, at least older Sims food. I think the more recent food they've done has been a little bit better, but I still always download mods in my Sims game to make the food higher quality, because it's just like, I don't want to have my Sims eat crappy looking food. Even if it's like excellent quality, it still is like bad looking. I like this idea of the dresser for clothing, and that you can only put certain items in certain storage containers. That's cool, and it's super sortable, and that they also show you like the color swatches. So if you have like 5 t-shirts, it'll show you like what color scheme is on each one, so you can remember which one is which. And then you don't have to carry it on yourself at all times, but you have a place where you can come back to it. I love that touch because it does remind me of like other crafting survival games where you can organize your stuff and not have it just be all in one list in your inventory, So that's a really cool feature. And then I want to go over these really quick just to see. I think these are different questions than what they answered in the video. Why are there 2 types of crafting tables? There are actually 5 types of crafting tables. There's a basic crafting table, 4 different advanced crafting tables, 1 for each crafting category. The biggest difference is that they have different crafting options, with the basic table having recipes for all 4 crafting categories. The advanced crafting tables unlock advanced recipes for their respective categories, which is very similar to like how survival crafting games or like MMOs kind of do their crafting system. So I do like that. I like how they kind of have organized it in a way that you have to buy the next upgraded bench to be able to access the more advanced crafting items. And I think that's just a fun way to kind of give you more progression instead of just doing it in your inventory. I think having to grow into it and be able to earn more types of materials and more crafting recipes as you go is really great. Since troves appear in specific locations, are there spawn points or are there biomes? To add wider gameplay variety, there are spawn areas for troves, not specific points, creating these sorts of biomes. We currently have 10 regions in the game that have different types of troves: towns and homes, woods, mountain peaks, mountainsides, plains, farming fields, flower patches, beaches, rivers, and gravel. That's such a big variety. I love that. That's amazing. I think that is really, really cool. You know that if you go to a mountainside, you're gonna get more maybe archaeology type stuff or stuff like that. If you go to the farming fields, you'll get more food. You go to certain areas, but it's not going to be like super obvious. You're going to have to learn where those are. They're not going to be like, here's a map of each biome, but they do spawn randomly within those kind of areas. Can these crafted items be sold in a shop? Can you sell in your own shop? Anything you craft, you can sell. You can even sell the individual crafting components if you'd rather just scavenge, or if you need a quick source of money. Right now, you can create shops that sell crafted items using the game's modding tools. We will be looking at improving that experience in early access based on your feedback. So you can create your own shop to sell crafted items. So you can create your own like little Etsy shop. Like I sell like fake nails on Etsy. I could create, not that in this game obviously, but like you can make a shop that's just about selling a certain object or a certain theme of objects. That's really cool. Will we be able to send gifts to others in town? Currently, you can transfer items between character inventories, as you may have seen during the car buying video. During early access, we'll be adding a gifting feature in case you'd like to send folks around town your crafted floral arrangements. Yeah, that'll be really sweet. I think that would be fun if you can like buy a cake for someone, order dinner for a neighbor, or I don't know. I wonder if they're gonna add more of that, and it does sound like they are. I think that's about it. That's all we got for today's video. I hope you guys are enjoying these Life by You updates like I am. If you have any thoughts or feedback, suggestions, leave a comment on their tweet or under my video, and hopefully they see it at some point and they will answer them in future updates, because they do take these from what people have been asking and try to answer them. Love that. Love the communication. I just can't wait to get my hands on the game. I'm ready for it. I haven't been wanting to play The Sims like at all. I've been very much like against playing Sims lately because I'm so interested in this game and I see all the potential of it and I can't wait to just be able to play in this type of game, which has everything in it. All encompassing. All this cool stuff that The Sims is such like lacking, or you have to have all the expansions for. It just makes it feel like, yeah, I don't like it. I really like what Life by You is doing, and I'm going to continue to follow their development in the months to come, so make sure you subscribe and like the video if you haven't yet. And I will see you guys next Friday, okay? I'm going to try to get back on schedule and start getting these out every Friday. So if you want to keep up with that, I will see you then. All right. Have a good Halloween and rest of your week. All right.